Hi, Simla.
Hi, Gizem.
So today we are going to talk about two topics, I think. One of them formative assessment in distance learning, and the
Mhm.
other one is how to plan an online teaching. So we are going to start with the formative assessment at a distance. So I think there were some criteria, and I think you can start with.
Yeah, okay. So with the whole pandemic situation, we all started, doing online classes, learning and teaching. So we should, okay, we all know about formative assessment, but the thing is, we have to know about formative assessment at a distance because, from now on, I think we will be, mostly doing our lessons through online classes. So it's a good topic for us to look at. First of all, we have some, subcategories to this
Mhm.
topic. Know your purpose is the first one. So, what it means is basically the tools you can use while, doing formative assessment. So, basically, before doing that, let me explain what is formative assessment. So, formative assessment is, teachers evaluating students' learning progress, and it's a wide range of time. You teach lots of topics. Maybe it takes a term or two terms, and then you evaluate all of the process you've been through with your students. This is what formative assessment is. So there are some online tools we can use to, accomplish formative assessment. And here in the website, they have given some examples, but let us talk about for our own experiences. Do you use, such online tools in your own classes?
Yeah, I actually use one, Kahoot. For young learners, I think it's very effective, and they loved it. They love this short activity, and I think it's fitting their purpose of learning. So that's why I choose Kahoot.
Mhm.
Have you ever used one of them, or which?
Yeah, I actually use, the one, what is it called? Quizlet and the
Mm-hmm. They are
quizzes.
similar. They are similar, actually.
Yeah, very, very similar, but I don't prefer to use Kahoot because when you're using Kahoot, the students should also be able to use it from their own other devices, with their phones or their computers. But the school I am, doing my practicum, they are not, available to do such activities. So I try to, minimize using such tools in my online classes. But in Quizlet, you can, just show the screen, and they don't have to, sign up or sign in to actively participate in the lesson. So this is what I'm doing most of the time. And Cemil Gökhan Hoca recently showed us a tool which is quizzes. I use them a lot recently, ever since after that lesson. They can also join the classes, but they don't have to because I can share my screen and I do like, okay, let's say there are four options. Please do like draw one to your paper, two, three, four, and if you think the correct answer is in the option three, show the three. This is how I do my activities with them. And I think it's useful, and seeing such tools in online classes makes them more excited, and they help them to participate more.
So having variety of activities or tools are beneficial for the learners, especially in young learners. That's what I think.
Yeah.
But
Hmm.
yeah, so we can now, I think, talk about collecting data over time. Collecting data is very important for teachers, actually, and for assessment, for formative assessment is a process, and teachers need to collect evidence from students. And I think it's a bit hard while teaching and learning online. I don't know what you think about it, but using the tools we use in while teaching should be proper for the students. And what do you think about collecting data in
Actually,
online?
I don't think it's that difficult because I am already doing such things. I use Padlet for my private lessons. I create a classroom. I upload the all of the PDFs and activities and homeworks to that, and I want my student to do the same thing. Actually, I can even show them to you right now if we have.
Yeah, actually, that's a very good idea. I only choose one student to collect all of the homework, and that was hard
Mhm.
for her and actually a little bit
You
challenging
see,
for me.
I am uploading activities we will do in the lessons, and I am also using mostly the things like, where is it? The things that he can go back and see what we covered. Most
Yeah.
of them are, talking about the uh, rules about the
Mhm.
topics we use.
So you, I think, make the data useful. They can
Yeah.
come back and look at what they learned, what they have covered
They have
before.
something, they have a
Yeah.
product they can check up on.
So I think that was your recommendation.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Okay, and recording their process, I think it's very easy with the tool you showed us. And another thing is focusing on feedback
Mm-hmm.
and providing written or oral feedback through videos or sound recordings. And I think teachers should provide these feedbacks. What do you think about it? Providing feedbacks, oral or reading feedbacks?
Feedbacks in general can be very encouraging for students. They have the right to, be aware of their own progress in their learning. And, sometimes getting feedback is kind of a teacher showing some students, uh, giving them a praise. Students
Mm-hmm.
can think it as in that way. So I think students love to get praised by their teachers and they get more motivated. So, yes, feedbacks are good to motivate the students, but we can also use
Motivate.
feedbacks, written feedbacks, especially
Mm-hmm.
to evaluate their own progress. I give them a written feedback, and 2 months later, I can go back to that feedback and see, yes, she was weak at this point, her strengths were these, such and such. And now I can check if they, overcome their weaknesses or added some more strengths to their learning process. This is a good one, yes.
Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, providing feedback is very encouraging and good for the students. They have to know what they do wrong or what they do correct. They
Mhm.
have to see their progress. Yeah. Okay. And another topic is check for understanding. But
Yeah, I think these are all kind of related to, feedback checking for understanding and
I think these are some strategies to providing feedbacks. Like there were some short examples, like the such as yes, no buttons or private chat, or we can give feedback with groups. So
mhm.
these are the ways that we can give feedback.
Yeah. What else we have? We have personal conversations. I think, giving one-on-one personal conversations as feedback tools are more important because this way, it's not just one-way feedback. I'm not the only one who's talking, but if we have a conversation, the student can also take part in their own evaluation and can maybe sometimes justify themselves and talk about their own weaknesses that the teacher may we didn't observe during their own, you know, observing their feedbacks, writing their feedbacks. I think it's a good way.
Yeah. So and check in on CIL, and I think that's check on students how they are doing. For example, what's working, what's not working. Asking them about the process, about their progress, and what would they recommend to make their learning better, to make their online learning experience better. So these are
Mhm.
there. And
Last, we have make it useful.
yeah.
So it says here in the first sentence that data is useless unless it is used. So we talked about, collecting data and how it is important. But yes, the sentence is right. If you don't let the students use them and make a product out of it, it's useless. It's just writings on some paper. But if you see them use what we learned as a more effective way of doing formative assessment.
So they need to use what they learn.
Hmm.
Yep. So I think now we can talk about the other topic.
Which is planning online lessons.
So there should be some how can I say, there should be some these things like in a good lesson plan. The one is one main objective is the thing we should know before the lesson, what we are going to teach, what will be their outcomes, and key vocabularies, and target sentence frame, and opportunity to practice speaking while learning in the class, online or face to face, and visual and audio elements. And these are important for preparing a good lesson.
Hmm.
So now
Exactly.
I think we can talk about them one by one. The first one is objectives. I think we know, I explained it previously.
Hmm.
And it's very important actually. We should know as a teacher what we are going to teach them. It could be a grammar or it could be anything, vocabularies, and we have to know
Hmm.
um, what will be their outcomes.
Yeah, it says on the website that you can take, prepare yourself a sticky notes onto your computer to, not to lose your way, what
Mm-hmm.
not to forget what you're doing, your objective. And I kind of use them in my online classes, especially when I'm working with young learners with my private lessons. I quickly forget what I was going to do, because you
Yeah.
have to teach more than one thing at a time when you're working with young learners, and you can get lost easily. So I use them. I have my sticky notes all over the place, and it's very beneficial. I think I suggest you do the same.
Yeah, actually, I tried this while I'm teaching face to face. It's very important. I was taking notes in my teacher's book, and yeah, it's very beneficial because sometimes you can lost in the lesson. You
Yeah.
can be lost. So yeah, that's a good recommendation. Thank you. And
Hmm.
another thing, dry erase boards. As we see in this picture, I think we should have a proper background. For example, a dry erase board, so we can use this. We can use its benefits while teaching,
Hmm.
or for example, while we're teaching a word or vocabulary, we can drive it or we can write it to the board. So
Yeah, it's very
it's
effective with the
beneficial.
young
It's very,
learners. Yes.
yeah.
Next, we have props and visual elements. That's what I am also using very often. My private lessons with uh, 3-year-olds. Yes, they're very, young. So I use props. I don't do props like hello or goodbye. I try to do it as much as virtual I can make them. So I use Woki. I created a teddy bear and I gave him a name. a very simple name, Mr. Teddy, so the students can remember them. And it is very effective. They love him. We just started our lessons together, so we're working on saying hello and goodbye. So Mr. Teddy says, so they know Mr. Teddy, and when they come to the class, they just immediately say hi or hello, Mr. Teddy, or when they're leaving the class, they say goodbye, Mr. Teddy. So it's a prop that's very attracting to the kids, and yeah, it's very beneficial with young learners.
Yeah, that sounds fun actually. Yeah.
Yeah, and visual elements are more important because when they see a word, image, a picture of the word, they can remember them more
And I
easier.
think we can use it easier while we online while we teaching online.
Yeah,
We
you don't
can
have to
give,
print everything out. You can just
yeah,
show them. It's more
that's
cheaper. It's
that's
cheaper.
saving our time. Yes,
Yeah,
saving our time and money. And another
exactly.
thing is using audio elements.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's actually using songs. I think young learners, like kids, learning words or some vocabularies in while they're singing a song.
Yeah,
It's
they like
very,
to imitate what they
yeah,
see.
it became easier for them, and they having fun while singing a song.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not for me, but but it's for them.
Yes, it's very boring for us actually.
Yes.
Next and lastly, we can talk about what topics we can cover in online classes. There are a few of them: vocabulary words, speaking, conversation skills, grammar skills,
Mm.
and what else? Reading skills and listening
Reading,
skills.
listening, yeah.
Which ones do you use in your online lessons the more?
I think it depends on their edge span and but I think um listening is should be included in the lesson because I don't know, I think it's very
Yeah,
important in
getting
second language
exposed to the
learning.
language, right?
Mhm.
The whole
Yeah.
thing.
This could be anything, a video record or it can be a listening, just an audio.
Hmm.
And I think speaking should be included in a lesson as well as listening.
Yeah, of course. But they all have their own stages. You
Yeah,
have to complete something to start speaking or start writing or
mm,
start teaching grammar. Yeah, that's right. Okay,
yeah,
so
yeah.
I think that was all for our 2 weeks of discussion. Thank you for
Yeah.
joining me.
Thank you.
I'll see you later. Bye.